also want to talk about sports and what's going on right now,
Yeah.
the sport world. So obviously, NBA is postponed indefinitely. NHL also postponed indefinitely. MLB is also postponing. I'm not sure what the standing is with the NFL,
Hmm.
but but out of all sports, professional wrestling is deemed an essential service.
Yeah, that's in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the UFC, all their next cards are going to be in Jacksonville, because like
Dang.
the governor, he's a very
Yeah.
far right guy, or racist too. Yeah, he deemed those like professional sports, at least
Yeah.
wrestling and MMA, to be essential. Like part of me is like, yeah, those aren't really essential, but the other part of me is like, it's obvious. I'm like, I really want to see those fights. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna tune in, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, I understand why that's kind of it's kind of funny to call those essential. Not that those fighters, they all like deserve to get paid or whatever. Like, I want to see people get
Oh
paid.
yeah. Like
That's
don't
another
get
thing
me
that
wrong.
sucks about like the fighters, by the way, is because they're considered like independent contractors, so they can't really apply for employment insurance or whatever. So I can understand why they want to fight, even in the like the situation we're in right now. But anyways, sorry.
Don't get me wrong. Like I won't lie. Wrestling, like WWE, TNA, like Ring
Yeah.
of Honor, and the new AEW. I'm a wrestling fan. It's kind of my guilty pleasure. I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid, and I'm back on that trend because
There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I want to talk specifically about the NBA and the Toronto Raptors because even though we are champions, we still get like what's the word? We still get
Disrespected.
disrespected and undervalued in the
Yeah.
American media. And I guess that's because we're a Canadian team and that basketball is in our sport, even though it was also invented by a Canadian man.
But yeah, it was invented by a Canadian man, but then he was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, though, I believe it was. So
Okay,
I
fair point.
guess, yeah, you can make the argument it was first played in America, even though it was
Invented by
invented by a Canadian. But like, yeah, it's very stupid though, because like I saw like even at the beginning of the season, like it was one of these ESPN shows, like it was, who was it, Sam Mitchell, and was it Damon Jones? They had a list of who they thought were going to be the top 8 seeds in each conference, to
Mhm.
the top 8 in the East, to make it to the playoffs. And this was after we just fucking won the playoffs. And
Yeah,
only Sam Mitchell, who, by the way, if you forgot, he coached the Raptors a few years back.
yeah, and then he got fired. Yeah, like 2008 or something, right?
Yeah, 2008, 2010, 2011, and then Giuliano came in, right?
Mm-hmm.
He At least he had the decency to put them as 8th. But the other guy, I think it was Damon Jones, he didn't even put them in their top 8. We literally just won with that same core, by the way, with the exception of Danny Green and Kawhi being gone. And
Yeah.
you want to tell me that team is not good enough to? They put the Hawks before they put the Raptors.
Oh my God. Okay. I won't lie to you though. When Kawhi left and like to a lesser extent Danny Green, I never wrote off the Raptors. I wasn't gonna like, oh, this is gonna be a throwaway year. We're gonna be last. No, I said we're gonna be 3rd, 4th, or 5th. We're gonna be like kind of in the middle. But right now, what are we like? As of right
Second,
now,
I think.
second, like maybe potential, not first. I think the Bucks are still first, but yeah, I knew we were going to be in a playoff team. I just didn't realize we were going to still be that great. And that's because of Siakam's development.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I mean, the Clippers aren't even doing that well either.
No, I honestly, I didn't expect them to do that amazing just because of the load managing that Kawhi does. But I think that come playoff time, they're gonna pick up and win. I could be wrong, but I still think that they're the deepest team in the whole league. Like they're just monsters. Like literally everyone in the starting lineup can play defense. They're all like just tough as nails. Like it's just, I don't see anyone else really giving them a run for their money.
Yeah. And I know Draymond Green recently made some comments regarding our championship win about like how if the Warriors weren't injured, then the
Yeah.
won. And you know, maybe I'm not saying they would have won because you know we ended up winning, but if you take that same principle and apply it to the, what was it, 2016 Warriors when they blew the 3-1 lead. 16, yeah. You can say like, oh, if Irving and Love wasn't injured, the Cavs,
2015.
right? So basically, like if you're gonna put an asterisk beside our championship, then we can also put an asterisk beside your championship.
Exactly. No, like Draymond Green, he just likes to have headlines or whatever. Like he routinely beefs with like Charles Barkley and stuff like that. Even though he can't hold a candle up to Charles Barkley, and like that's just who he is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as of because and sorry, I just remember this, but like he can't even say stuff like that right now because the Warriors are dead last in the West, probably the worst team in the NBA as of right now. I might be wrong. I think maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one, to be honest.
Yeah, but hypothetically, say Kevin Love or not Kevin Love, sorry, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry were good for the beginning of the season. Do you think the Warriors would be that low in the standings?
No, of course not. If Steph and Klay were there, they would be back. They would be back in like maybe like in championship contention, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So no, of course not. Like it's just one season. When like probably Steph and Klay will be back, and they'll I can see them being in the running for a deep playoff run again. But it's just 1 year there. Unfortunately, they like injuries caught up to them. So and I don't think they're gonna be in some huge slump for the next few years. Like they're gonna be back, I think, sooner than many people realize, to be honest.
Oh yeah, and I know with like the NBA, say this whole pandemic gets a bit better in the next couple of months, right? And the NBA comes back. I know there was like a lot of talk about concerns about players being kind of out of shape and not doing well in the sport.
Yeah.
Because that happened back in, I think, when there was like a lockout season or a shortened season, like way decades ago. So I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, so given the current, I guess, status of the teams, and obviously when the NBA resumes, all the players will be more healthy, hopefully still in shape, although a lot of people are getting the quarantine 15. Who do you think would have the best chance at winning the championships?
That's a tough one, man. Because like I assume right now they're not really doing rehab to the extent that they were prior to the start of it. So I would say either the Bucks or Clippers, to be honest.
Okay. I was gonna say that too, and biasly say, in my opinion, the Raptors. But that's
you're not wrong to think that. But I don't think that we're gonna win this year. But I think that we can definitely give like definitely any team in the East a run for their money for sure.
Yeah, we can have a deep playoff run.
Yeah, just to not keep my hopes up. I don't think we're gonna like go to the finals, but it's possible. Because I don't think we're not the best in the East anymore, but like we're like top 2, top 3.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, that's all I really have on the list, because a lot of the topics I want to talk about later on could be like an entire episode of Let's Talk Pham. So I guess I can say that for later. Oh, I mean, I have one more topic about like lifeguarding and experience, if you want to get into that, or if you want to save that for later.
No, we can talk about that now. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, so I know you and I met during 2018 spring season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy has such a good memory. How the hell do you remember all this?
I don't know. I just did. And then I saw you again at the facility orientation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because obviously you and I have different experiences as a lifeguard and swim instructor. Because how old were you when you started too?
I think 19. Yeah, 19.
Okay, 19. But you were with the city before, right? Like earlier?
Yeah, I was before. Yeah, but I started in that position like 19. something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, see, because I literally started when I was 18. So I got all my qualifications done when I was 17 and then started teaching at 18 and
Hmm.
worked at 18. So I was a bit more mature going into the job, but like the staff we have nowadays, they're what like they start off 14 as waiting pool attendants, then they get their instructors and all that. So at 16, they're pretty young and obviously there are still some good rookie staff, but I've definitely seen the decline in quality in the newer staff.
Decline in quality.
Have
Yeah,
you?
no, it's a lot. It's a lot to for like a 16-year-old to have all those responsibilities though. So
Mm-hmm.
we're about to see a bunch of fuck ups. So
Yeah,
that's par for the course, I guess.
man, and like I won't drop actual names. We'll change the names for the confidentiality reasons. But even there are some senior staff. Like okay, so
Oh, for sure.
when I started at 18, the senior staff that were with the city were really good. Like they were most of them were quality staff, and then obviously when they get jobs in their field, whatever they studied in school, they start to weave out of the city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, like basically, all the new low quality staff become senior staff and all that. So if they don't have a good, where I wasn't going with this. Basically, if they didn't have a good supervisor to develop them, then they just stayed pretty bad. And you and I have a few in mind when we're talking like more senior bad quality staff.
Yeah. I don't want to go too far into the details, but yeah, there's we have a few of them for sure.
Uh, but yeah, and I know there was like you probably got a bunch of my emails because I was like, maybe no, I was not the PIC on Fridays, huh? You didn't work Friday last session. So basically, at the beginning of this year, there were a lot of strike talks between the city and our union, right? And we were all talking. Obviously, pay wage was one of the more important, not important, but one of the more significant discussions that the unions were having with the city. Uh, but it wasn't just the pay wage; it was also like job security, benefits, and like medical plans for part-timers because not a lot of people know this, but there are some staff that work full-time hours but are still considered part-time staff, so they don't have insurance, they don't have benefits, they don't have anything a full-time position would have, you know.
Yeah, that's like I think that's pretty much like everyone we know. Like I don't think anyone else is like doing full
Mm-hmm.
time. At least any of our peers are doing this full time. So
Yeah, and man, management, okay, I don't want to bash management, but
yeah, no one come after me, man.
not the best. I mean, no one, dude. Have you seen my video views? There's only like 5 people that watch my videos.
So wait, you don't want me sharing this at all
Oh, you
on
can
my
share,
story?
definitely share this. I don't mind you sharing this. But I'm just saying, like my view, like your view count. Even though you just started, you have like triple digits in all videos.
I mean, because I shared it on like on multiple things or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I'll share this too. But basically, yeah, management is not the best, and like I will defend myself saying that.
I mean, it's better than other places that we know of.
Well, yeah, that is very true. That's very true.
So
Hmm. But yeah, and I know you got you should probably email them, but because I know you recently got your pool in charge promotion a while back actually.
yeah,
Yeah, so I would say email them asking about the whole 6 month sessions situation. Like, because you within the first 6 months you need to take a permanent
yeah.
shift if you lose it. So talk to them about that. You probably shouldn't lose it just given the situation.
Yeah, I honestly I'm not too focused on that, but I did like I recently did email someone about that though. So
Hmm.
maybe
I
like
guess.
I'm assuming that they're still looking for openings or whatever. So maybe I'll get that. Maybe I won't. Whatever. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
too upset if I don't get that.
And do you have any plans for a summer? Are you going to go back to your old pool?
Well, right now that's where I'm going back to. But
Hmm.
if like I said like yes, but I'm looking for the other places that are on my list. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I won't. So
Okay.
what about
Yeah.
you?
I'm trying to move into camps now. Yeah. Slowly make my way
Not
there.
for me.
Oh God. And then you know who's gonna be there. Literally, that's gonna be my wake up call every morning. No, but like I would like camps just because it's so close to my house, obviously, and you're basically working full time hours and you get weekends off. So the only downside is you got to deal with kids, and you know how kids.
Yeah. So hopefully you can deal with that and not snap because they can test you, man.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know. But yeah, honestly, you'll make a good supervisor. I just because you have the experience, you've worked different shifts, you've seen what a good staff looks like, what a bad staff looks like.
Yeah, I hope I will.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope I like to think I'm not too authoritarian. So
Now, honestly, like the way, so I had a friend named, and he was one of the better PICs I've had, and his mentality was,
Bob, right?
huh?
Bob. His name's Bob, right?
Well, yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I can always edit and blur the.
No, I understand.
So Bob, he was a pretty cool guy. He obviously let the staff do as they please if they were doing it like doing their job properly, and his mentality was like, if you're safe, if the public's safe, and you do your job, then everything's okay.
Yeah.
And I kind of follow that same mentality. Like, if you're doing your job properly and you're safe and like the public's safe, then like we're not gonna have a problem. Like, I won't have to discipline you or talk to you. But if you can't do your job properly and that endangers the public, then obviously you're gonna be talked to. And if that happens again, I had to written people up. So it's like it's not that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst thing though. Especially if you have friends that like are in your staff. That's why it's like it's hard to pick at a place where you have friends or whatever, because like it can maybe like put a dent in some relationships or whatever, because some people might be like, oh man, you should have held me down or whatever, why you gotta be like that and like do all that kind of shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta be, it's very important to be like objective though, because unfortunately some of these motherfuckers, they don't know anything about being objective, and they're
Yo, relax. I feel no. I was gonna say something, but now I feel very attacked.
no,
No,
that's not towards you.
I know. No, because what I was gonna say was like all my work friends I've noticed are like obviously people who I like, and the reason I like them is because I can get along with them and they do a good job and they do their job well. I probably just exposed myself. So basically, what I'm saying is, if you and I aren't really that close at work, it just means I don't think you're a good worker. We're not up to par, up to standards. No, I'll take that part out. But like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, there are people who do work well, and I don't get along with, and I thought about this. An example would be like Shaq and Kobe. You know, they didn't like each other,
Rest in peace.
but they worked well with one another. So I'm gonna rephrase what I said. If you and I aren't that close at work, it's not because. Huh? What'd you say?
No, sorry, go on.
If you and I don't work well at work together, like if you and I don't talk or get along at work, it's not because I don't like the way you work. It's just we don't have anything in common. But
Yeah, I get that.
But at least you and I, at least not you, like you and I are definitely close friends. But like any person that I work with, I just don't get along. Like as long as you're a good worker, then we're fine. We're good. Like we won't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is if you think you can get away with stuff and hold things like guarding with your headphones on or not doing the paperwork, then that's a problem. Don't guard with your headphones on. That's an actual rule. Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't like. I'm no prude or anything, but I don't know how you would think that that's like an okay thing to do though. Like I
Honestly.
aspire to have that, to care that little about what I'm doing. So kudos, shouts to whoever did that, man.
No, it's I can't. I don't know. Maybe I'll just branch off another series and talk about my experience, and we can talk about our experiences as a lifeguard in that series.